Hi there. I'm just going to quickly go over what it takes to start a business in Nebraska and a few functions that you can use to get your business up and running here. This tutorial, this main page, is really just meant to be a general overview of the different filings that you can make. I suggest that you take the time to, go to a few of these tutorials, depending, of course, on your entity type and the action you want to take. But they'll go more in depth as to the actual filing requirements. In the state of Nebraska, there is no online registration process. There is like an e-delivery, which is essentially you make your PDF or your formation document, and then you send it in online, as opposed to like an online registration, in which you go through actually making the application on the website. At any rate, we have corporations, limited liability companies, and partnerships, and all varieties therein in these tutorials here. First step we have, which is actually the first step here, but we go over it in the search for a name category here. Is just performing a business entity search before you, pardon me, register with the Secretary of State, just to make sure that the name you plan on using is available to you. If it's taken by another entity, then you won't be able to file using it. Also, you can use the business entity search to get a certificate of good standing, or to just get general information about a particular entity. And as I said, this is the first step that we recommend in filing in any state, but definitely in Nebraska as well. Also, you can perform a name reservation, which will last 120 days. You can click on this tutorial for more information on those two functions. So once this has been completed, you can go ahead and draft your registration document. So that could be an articles of incorporation if you're a domestic corporation, application for certificate of authority, for limited liability companies and foreign limited liability companies and corporations, anything of that nature. Partnerships, you need certificate of limited partnership, but you need to draft that first. Some have forms that are pre-made on the website, but it seems as though every single domestic entity you have to draft it yourself. Within each one of these tutorials, we've gone over exactly what to include in those formation documents. Once you've finished those, we can move on to step 3 here. You need to attach all other certificates demanded by the Secretary of State. Nebraska, for whatever reason, asks for a lot more because there's the option to do professional and professional corporations and LLCs. So you need certain certificates from the Nebraska Supreme Court, for example, in order to be accepted. So as I said, go to the more detailed tutorials. So you would go over all that stuff. But generally, you're going to need to attach all the certificates you need to your filing and then submit them either through the mail to this website with the attached, not website, this address with the attached filing fee, or you send them through the e-delivery service. Now, this is only available for limited liability companies and corporations, unfortunately. It's a pretty straightforward setup, but you can do either one of those. And then you can pay the filing fee either online by credit card or by check. And we have, pardon me, all the filing fees here for corporations. It varies from entity to entity, actually. Limited liability companies are pretty much the same. Usually, the weird thing about Nebraska is every time you add another page onto it, so if you have a certificate or the formation document is 3 pages, it's an additional $5. So there's a base fee, as you can see here. Say nonprofit corporations is $10, but then it's going to be $5 per page after that. So just keep that in mind when you're filing. I've already been over the name reservations. Certificate of good standing, I spoke about it a little bit earlier. You can get it through the business entity search function. It's going to cost you $6.50 if you do it online, $10 if you ask for it to be mailed to you. Now, this is just used pretty much to prove legitimacy and legality in the state of Nebraska. So if you're planning on expanding your business to foreign states or countries, often they'll ask for certificate of good standing just to, it's pretty much what it sounds like, to prove that you're in good standing with the Secretary of State of Nebraska. Another thing that we recommend that businesses do is draft a partnership agreement if they're a partnership, LLC operating agreement if they're an LLC, and of course a set of corporate bylaws if they are a corporation. This will allow you to delineate the nature of the members of your entity and the entity itself. So pretty much any rules and regulations you want to set forth that's not already in the initial formation documents can be put into these. We have free templates available by clicking on each one of these as well. And lastly, if you're forming a brand new entity, this won't apply to foreign businesses because you probably already have an employer identification number. This is something you're going to want to apply for as soon as you get word that your documents have been approved by the Secretary of State. So what you're going to need to do is either apply online or through the Form SS4, which is a PDF document that you send through the mail. And it's free, and it'll just allow you to open bank accounts, hire employees. It's like the Social Security number for businesses. So yeah, that's just a general overview. As I said, please take the time to review our more detailed tutorials.